Hey YouTube, this is Sabermetrics. So I've got a bit of an interesting game to show you guys here. This is, I don't know if you guys can already tell, a game between Aqua Force and Nova Grappler, more specifically the Stern Blaukruger version of it, which I believe is fully built. Now, I'm not sure when this video is going to go up, but at the point that this video was actually recorded, Aqua Force Set 8, or more of the support for Aqua Force, has not come out yet. So the player on the left here, one of my friends, is actually playing just trial decks, two of them put together. No perfect guards, no maelstrom, no nothing, just naval gazers and whatnot. So this will be interesting to see how this game goes, whether or not it'll be close or not. Now, I do like to tell people that Vanguard is a game where you can literally pick up a trial deck and beat someone with a fully built deck, but that, you know, you do need to be a good player as well, and it doesn't happen very often. So we'll say good luck to the Aqua Force player here. This was recorded at a past locals on Monday. It's a small tournament, so I think that's why several of our friends actually did this, putting several Aqua Force decks together just to sort of have some fun. Now, I believe they were just cutting there to see who goes first, and the Nova Grappler player goes first. Top decks the Blaupanzer, searches the grade 2 Blaukruger, sorry, not Krugel, and adds it to hand. So that's a pretty good start so far for the Nova Grappler player. On we go to the Aqua Force player, attacks with the 8K. Nothing on the drive check. Nova Grappler player there hits a critical trigger, but it doesn't matter too much. Alright, on to the Nova Grappler player's turn. Rides the Blaukruger, plays the Blaukruger, which is a 10k grade 2, and attacks with the 10k Blaukruger from the Vanguard. Now, I think the Aqua Force player here realizes that because he doesn't play perfect guards, he's gonna guard as much early on as possible. But the Nova Grappler player here does hit the critical, and Aqua Force player lets the second attack go through. Now here's where, this is sort of the strategy of Aqua Force, and this is sort of what they can really do. It's more of a rush deck, and yeah, so he does attack the rear guard there, because the deck does rely on picking off the opponent's rear guards and sort of whittling down their resources. They do run a good amount of stands, which the Aqua Force player there actually hits. So now this is a bit of a predicament for him, because he either, if he does stand his grade 2, it can't hit. So in this case, he plays it correctly. He gives the power though to the Vanguard, so the attack does hit, so the attack isn't wasted. But the stood rear guard can't hit any numbers anyways. So now the Coral Assault Healer here is the third attack, so it goes up to 11k. But the Nova Grappler player does guard that. So, oh, and it does look like the Nova Grappler player here has missed the grade 3. He's missed Road, which is it could be interesting considering we can see from the Aqua Force player's hand that he does have Naval Gazer Dragon, which is probably their best grade 3 from the trial deck anyways, obviously. And the Aqua Force player there, I think, takes a critical. Takes the 2 damage. He's on 4 compared to the Nova Grappler player's 2. And he's really going for it. I think he's just going to try and limit the amount of cards in his opponent's hand. Uses Naval Gazer's effect, Limit Break. And once again, just attacking rear guards, which are constantly being guarded. Seems like the Nova Grappler player wants to protect his Blaukruger very much. Decides to perfect guard the Naval Gazer, which is a smart play, because if it does hit, his limit break does go off, but it doesn't. And once again, the Nova Grappler player does not have a grade 3. So the Aqua Force player here guards for 1 trigger, but the Nova Grappler player does not hit it, so he takes a second attack. Now it's Aqua Force player turn. He attacks the rear guard, finally goes through, uses the booster's ability to drop and draw, then attacks. Let's see if he uses the ability. He does.
20 to Vanguard. 20? Yeah.
Attacks for 20,000 to Vanguard, I believe. Yep. There's a grade 3, but that gets damage checked by the Nova Grappler player. And finally, a Naval Gazer with no limit break. Attacking for very high numbers, I believe. What is that? 23, I believe? Or 26, I'm not sure. Hits the draw trigger. Gives it to Naval Gazer. And it's another draw trigger. And I believe the Nova Grappler player put it to 1 or to 2 to pass, 2 triggers to pass. So the damage goes through. He hits the heal trigger, but the Aqua Force player is on 5 damage, so there is no heal. And he's still stuck on the grade 2, so this is really not looking good for the Nova Grappler player. Very unfortunate. And this might be it for this first game. Uses Naval Gazer's effect again, because the Nova Grappler player is at, or was it? He's only got 3 cards in hand, so he knows that he's probably not going to be able to guard everything. That is only 17, which he guards, and here is the big attack to Vanguard, which he's probably not going to be able to guard. And he hits the critical trigger for good measure. And that is the game. Wow. And there are all the grade 3s there for the Nova Grappler player. So very unlucky for the Nova Grappler player's part. But at the same time, the Aqua Force player drew into exactly when he needed to and hit the triggers when he needed to. So that is game 1. Aqua Force takes it. Alright, so we have the continuation here. Game 2 between Aqua Force and Stern Blaukruger. Not sure whether to say maybe Naval Gazer Dragon Aqua Force. It's not really any particular build, really. Trial deck Aqua Force, so let's just call it that. So I am just as surprised as you guys are. This is the first time I'm actually watching this footage and voicing it over, so I'm just as stunned as you are. But here we are, Aqua Force leading 1-0. Now, if you guys could also let me know about 2 things. First thing, this is also a new camera that I'm using, so let me know if the quality is alright. And also, I decided to maybe zoom up a little bit more compared to the last few games, just because people said they couldn't see the actual cards too well. Now, the downside of that is you can't see the decks or damage zones all that well, so you'll only really be able to see the main area with like the Vanguard and the rear guards. The other thing is I'm using a new microphone, so yeah. Alright, so they're just shuffling and mulliganing here. And I believe the Aqua Force players put back 3. And same with the Nova Grappler player. And here we go, here we begin. So the Nova Grappler player here is going first, obviously. And he does not have the grade 1 Blau Panzer. Rides the Twin Blader, perfect guard. Not exactly ideal. Aqua Force player here attacks 7k, and Nova Grappler player is taking it. Hits a draw trigger, draws an extra card, and rides the Blaukruger. Puts down a Blaukruger. Looks pretty similar to the last game. Hits a critical trigger on the Vanguard's attack. Gives the power to the rear guard. And it looks like the Aqua Force player is taking everything, and I believe it's because he doesn't have any triggers to guard within hand, so he's going to be taking most of that. Rides the Lazarus, the grade 10, or not grade 10, sorry, the 10k grade 2. Can you imagine that, grade 10? How long would it take to get to actual grade 10? But, so the Aqua Force player here is attacking with the Vanguard. 16,000. Which is guarded by the Nova Grappler player, so no damage is taken. 7,000, which doesn't hit, but then that allows the Splash Assault, the second grade 1 there, to get a boost, being the 3rd attack, and the Nova Grappler player takes it. So the Nova Grappler player here has finally got the Stern Blaukruger, so hopefully things are looking up for him. Attacks with the unboosted Blaukruger to the Vanguard. 5k guard should do it. I think he's going to guard that. Does he? He does, yes. Okay, so he guards with 5k. Guards a 10k here. For 2 triggers to pass, and I guess there's no triggers there. But the Nova Grappler player did drive check, I believe, the Death Army duo. So That'll be interesting to see whether or not he's able to play it next turn. Aqua Force player there, I think, just topped the Naval Gazer, which is quite nice. If not, I didn't actually pay attention to that or not. It did seem like he topped it, I'm not sure. So, uses the limit break on Naval Gazer, and let's see if that ability goes through. Because the Naval Gazer does have to hit for its ability to actually activate. Now, I believe the Aqua Force player there is attacking the rear guard. The attack goes through. Rear guard is retired. Guards the second attack to the rear guard, and now it's Naval Gazer to the Vanguard, to the stern Blaukruger, which is at the moment on 11k. And I think he guards for one trigger, which he does hit. And he hits 2 triggers anyways for good measure. Hits the critical. So obviously he's going to give the critical to the Vanguard. Now I think he's deciding where to give the power to the second power, since the Naval Gazer is already hitting. I think he's giving it to the Splash Assault. And thankfully the Stern Blaukruger player has hit a critical trigger, gives the power to the Vanguard. So only one of the Naval Gazer's effect, like stood cards I believe, is able to attack, because both of those cards can only hit the rear guard. So the attack goes through, and that grade 3 can't hit anything else, so we move on to the Nova Grappler player's turn. Puts down an Ashura Kaiser and a Blaupanzer to boost the Stern Blaukruger, and attacks the Vanguard. And that is 2 triggers for the attack to go through. Hits a heal trigger, that's nice. They're both on 4 damage, so the Stern Blaukruger player heals. And the Aqua Force player decides to take the 5th damage from the Ashura Kaiser, which has the trigger. So, let's see what he's doing here. He's counterblasting once again for Naval Gazer's ability. Once again hoping for the attack to go through. And I believe he's just going to move on to his attacks now. Yeah. So he attacks with the Splash Assault first, targeting the Ashura Kaiser, which the opponent lets go. He only has 3 cards in hand, actually, I just realized. So he takes the 2nd damage, and he guards again for 1 trigger. And, oh my gosh. So the Aqua Force player has hit a trigger. Naval Gazer's effect also activates, as well as dealing the damage. And he's able to stand another card, so wow. Hits the heal trigger there in the Nova Grappler player, but I don't think it matters too much, because he's got no cards in hand, so I am in shock. That was definitely not expected. So the Aqua Force player takes it, friendly handshake there, not sure whether to just rub it in the Nova Grappler player's face or not, but wow, so Trial Deck there does beat the Nova Grappler player. It all does come down to triggers, I guess. I'm not sure if the Nova Grappler player could have played it any different. Maybe he could have, I'm not sure. I'm not all that well versed when it comes to Stern Blaukruger, but there you go, I guess. So this just goes to show that a trial deck, or in this case 2 trial decks put together, can beat a fully built deck. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, goodbye.